This is Advanced Math, Unit 12, Morning Review. I do need you guys listening. All of these solve here on the front page are all types of problems you're going to see, and they're all solving using different methods. So you want to make sure when you get to that test on block day, when you get to a problem, you understand how to do the different types and how to recognize the different types. Okay, so first thing you look at here on number 1 is, where is your variable? Is it an exponent? First off, is there a log?
No.
Okay, so there's no wraparound or drop the log. Dropping logs on both sides. Is the x a base or an exponent? Okay, and it's attached to the e. Do you agree? So this right here is what I'm going to try to get by itself. What should I do first? Add the 7 and then divide. Can you guys do that now? Add 7, divide by 4. Okay, you said it comes out to be what? 5. Okay, now here is, kids can get this far and then I don't know what to do. Do I wrap around? Do I drop logs? Do I reciprocal exponent? Do I take the log of both sides? What is it that we do? Okay, now he said natural log. Are you saying take the natural log of both sides? Shane? Okay, he is correct. I'm going to write it down. Natural log of e to the x minus 3 equals the natural log of 5. Can anyone explain why we take the log or natural log of both sides? What's the purpose? Because it's e is why we use a natural log. And what did you say? To bring the exponent down. Do you guys all agree with that? The whole reason, because it doesn't have to be an ln, it could be a regular log. The whole reason we do it is to bring that exponent down. So I am going to cover this really quick. At that point right there, could I, if I wanted to, bring the x minus 3 down? No, I often have kids do that. Is that allowed? What do I need in order to take the exponent down? The ln or the log. All right, so let's bring it down. X minus 3 times ln of e equals ln of 5. Who can tell me the next step? Correct. Did everybody hear that? Some of you are not paying attention. She said the ln of e turns to 1. If you forget that, could you divide the ln e and plug it all in your calculator? It's going to come out the same. Okay, x minus 3 equals ln of 5. We're almost done. What do we do? Okay, one person answered. Does anyone else know? Okay, he said do the natural log of 5 and add the 3. So if I added the 3 like this, is it safe to say that this is ln of 8? No. We do it the way they both said. ln of 5, it's going to open, you close your parentheses, and then do plus 3. Or do the 3 first. 3 plus ln of 5. Plug it all in, get to 3 decimal places. Don't forget that on the test, Maddie. 3 decimal places. No, there was a test, you missed them all, remember? No, I shouldn't say he missed them all. You got him right, but you got points docked.
You were recording this, right? Hey, I got the question right.
You got him right?
Is this because you're recording?
And the reason
Oh yeah, I did.
Okay, we're starting over.
I cannot wait. Save it, please. I want to hear it.
All right. What did you guys get? What decimal? 4 point what?
1.0. The answer? Yeah,
Yes.
4.609.
609.
So what would that be?
All right. Number 2. Is there a log? No. Okay, we're going to make one is what I heard. Good job. So first off, there's no log. So it's not drop the log on both sides, nor is it wraparound. Where is the variable? Exponent or base? Okay, so I heard a few of you say log of both sides. Correct? You could do ln. I'm just going to do log. Log of 7 raised to the 2x minus 1 equals log of 835. And what's the whole reason we do this? to bring it there. Okay, 2x minus 1, parentheses, log of 7 equals log of 835. All right. Now, earlier on number 1, one of you told me that ln of e is 1. So it just kind of not disappeared, but it's gone. Do you agree? Does the same thing happen over there with log 7? No. You have choices. Anyone know what you can do? Divide is the easiest thing. If you wanted, could you calculate log 7 as a decimal and distribute? Yeah, I'd rather not. Are you guys okay if we divide log 7 to the other side? All right. Plug it in your calculator. Remember to close your parentheses before you hit divide. Log 835, close parentheses, divide log 7. Starts with a 3, yes or no?
Yeah.
3 point. Okay, I'm going to put dot, dot, dot. What does that dot, dot, dot mean? Am I rounding it?
No, not yet.
Is it in your calculator?
Yeah.
Should you leave it in there? Okay, what's the next step?
Add 1.
Add 1. Add 1 to the number in your calculator. Leave it there. And what's the last thing we do? So leave that long number in your calculator. Remember, you leave it in there as long as you can. And after you divide by 2 is when you're going to round to 3 decimal places, thousandths. What do you guys get? Good job. Okay. Are we good so far?
Yes.
Next one. You're taking the test. You get to this problem. Is there a log?
Yes.
Okay. It's either going to be drop the logs on both sides or wrap around. Which one is it? Why is it not drop the logs on both sides? There's not a log on the other side, is correct. Now, it is wraparound, but if I did the wraparound right now, I would get it wrong. What do I have to do first? Okay, you have 2 choices. I heard some of you say, did you say bring the 4 up as a, okay, so that's one choice, up as an exponent. What's your other choice? Could you divide by 4 to the other side? Guess what? They both work out beautifully. You get the same answer either way. So you do what you would most likely do on the test. Divide by 4? Okay, if you want to try it as a power, please do it and we can compare at the end.
I did.
You did as a power? Okay, good. We can check then. 5/4, and what does that, you guys said wraparound, right? Okay, I have a few kids still struggling with wraparound. When you wrap around, does the log stay or is it gone? The reason it's gone is you're changing from logarithmic form to what form? Starts with an E. Exponential form. You're changing from logarithmic to exponential, which means there's no more log. And we start with the x and we raise it to what power? Equals the of part, log base x of what? 9. X raised to the 5/4 equals 9. Now we're solving. Take a look at where your variable's at. Is it a base or an exponent? It is a base. Do I have to take the log of both sides to bring the exponent down? No, we do not, because the variable's not in the exponent. Who remembers what you do to both sides to get x by itself, and do not use the word multiply? Yes. Multiple. It's okay. Reciprocal is the right word.
Raise it.
Raise it. Raise it to the reciprocal power. And it's okay, guys. As long as you remember, even if you had the word multiply, as long as you remember you're not multiplying, you're raising to the 4/5. Does the 5/4 and 4/5 power cancel out?
Yes.
And what does it leave behind? And is that what we're trying to solve? Okay, here's a mistake kids make. 5th root of 9 to the 4th. Your Math 2 teachers taught you that way back when. And then you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. There's no 5th root of 9. Should we change it this way?
No.
Not if you don't have to. If there's no 5th root and da-da-da, can you plug it this way in your calculator?
Yeah.
9 exponent 4 fraction 5. If you're using your exponent key, and you should be using your exponent key, do you use your fraction key or division key?
Fraction.
Fraction, not your division. If you're using division, you need to put parentheses. All right, so plug it in 3 decimal places.
9.
Okay, so 9 raised to the, what is it, 4/5? Okay. Mine's in the wrong mode. It gave me an answer, but I'm going to fix the mode after. 5.7795. So picture that 799 as like 799 with the 5 at the end. Would it stay 799 or go to 800?
800.
So 5.800. And you do put your zeros in there to show that they weren't zeros to begin with. You rounded and got the zeros. 5.800. Did anybody do it the other way and get the same answer? You got it? Good. Anyone else? Bring the power up, the 4 up as a power. What was that? Okay. Now, number 4 is on the test. Put a star by it because it's one that kids often miss. Can anybody look at that and at least recognize? Good job. I heard at least 2 of you. How many? Anyone else looked at it and kind of thought maybe substitution? Okay. Is it ready for me to use substitution right off with the 3 to the x? Okay. So I'm going to let u equal 3 to the x. And I'm not going to use 7.u plus 4.u. I'm just going to write it the way we usually do. 7u plus 4u, because that's what the dots mean, multiplication, equals 99. Okay. So this is basic pre-algebra stuff you learned back in 7th grade. What's 7u plus 4u? And back in 7th grade, you learned to do what to both sides? And back in 7th grade, you would have been done at this point and said u equals 9, I'm done, I'm good, but now you'd get it wrong if you stopped. Why? Good. 3 to the x back in. 3 to the x equals 9. Where is your variable, the base or an exponent? Okay, you have choices. Can anybody tell me how you would solve this if you were taking the test and got this far?
Take a log of both.
Okay, I heard log of both sides, which is correct, and?
Just make 9, make 3 to the 2.
Okay, change them to the same base.
It's just common
Okay,
sense.
okay, hold on.
Just be like,
Listening. I had a few kids say that in my morning class either, well, I could just look at it and know it's going to be a 2. Yes, when they're easy and you can get them to the same base, do it. But say that 9 was a 12. Could you get 12 to a base of 3? Would you then have to do log of both sides? So know when you can and when you can't, when you don't have to. If you wanted to do log of both sides, would it work? It would. Try it.
I did.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Came out to be 2. There you go. So it does work.
That's too much work.
Okay. 3 to the x equals 3 squared. Is 3 squared the same as 9?
Yes.
So x equals 2. Okay, you got it to work now, Shane?
Yeah, I just did log of 9. I didn't divide it by 3.
Okay, okay.
On
Yes.
the test, if we were to just do like 3 to the x equals 9 and then put x equals 2, would we get it because we know, or would we have to like show?
On something like this, I would be okay with that. But when you get to the harder problems where the answer is like 3/5 and you just gave me 3/5, I would not be okay with it. Okay. All right, yes.
It's
Are you
one
sure?
question.
Yeah. Okay. Number 5. Solving. Is there a log?
There's 2.
There's 2 logs. Okay, so it's either going to be drop the log on both sides or wrap around. Let's first look. I'm going to cover this right here. Can you guys imagine that 1 minus is not there? Can you imagine that for just a second?
Yes.
And it was just like this. Would this be wrap around or drop the logs on both sides? Okay. With that 1 minus, is it still drop the logs?
Yes.
With that 1 minus there?
Oh.
No.
I can make that log 10.
We could make this log base 18 of 18 if you wanted to. You could. I never showed it that way in notes, but you could.
I feel like that's just me.
No, you're good. In notes, guys, if you remember notes, I said you could do it this way. That was one of the ways. The way I showed you, does anybody remember what we did with this guy right here?
Do we add it?
Added it to the other log. Now, if any of you feel better doing log base 18 of 18 with the 1, feel free to do it. We'll check together at the end.
Oh, wait, I remember.
Yeah. Okay, so when I have these 2 logs written as an addition problem, what is it going to become?
It becomes multiply.
Multiply. Okay, here's a question I have for you guys. Is it like this? Don't write this down. Log of like that, or log times a log? The first one. When you condense it, it condenses to a single log. Do you guys agree? Not multiplying two separate logs together. Okay, log base 18 of x plus 9, and what's the other one? X plus 6 and x plus 9. Okay, and then equals what? 1. Okay, now we can decide, is this drop the logs on both sides or wrap around? Wrap around. 18 is the base, and 18 is going to get raised to what power? 1. And then it equals this big of piece right here. I would go to multiply those together in this step. So 18 to the first power equals what? Good job. 18 to the first power equals, you said x squared plus 15x plus what?
54.
Okay. Do you guys now recognize what kind of solving an equation this is? Get x by itself or get everything over to one side? One side. We want it equal to 0, so we could do what? Factor. Good job. 18 the first is just 18, so I'm just going to subtract 18. And 54 take away 18 is what?
36.
And now you guys factor. And there's plenty of these on the test, so make sure that you are ready.
Did you get the 18 to the first one?
Right here. This 18 raised to that first, and that was that
Oh,
first.
so you did the wraparound.
Yes. Yep. Okay. She asked a good question, guys, and if you're ever in a place where everything makes sense but one little step you're not sure, ask it, because you don't want that one little step to be what messes you up on the test. She understood all this, but she didn't see where I got this from, the 18 to the first. 18 raised to the first, the wraparound. All right. What did you guys get? What and what?
-9 and -4. Oh, 9 and 4, sorry.
Okay. 9 and 4, does that multiply to 36?
Yeah.
Does that add up to 15? 12 and 3. So be careful, you don't want to mess up. It's okay, my other class gave me those same set of numbers, 12 and 3. What are my two answers then? Negative and negative 3. Okay, I'm going to explain to you two mistakes kids make on the test. Are you ready? One mistake is they forget to check and they say, oh, negative 12, negative 3, and they might get it right, but they possibly could get it wrong because of extraneous solutions. Second mistake kids make,
We know.
it can never be negative. They cross out all their negatives and, oh, no solution. That's not true. You can't take log of a negative. That is true. But can x equal a negative? Yes, it just depends. You have to check. So make sure you plug it into the original. That's the black printed piece before you did any moving and subtracting and adding and anything else. And you plug x in. If it doesn't work for one of them, you don't have to check the rest. It's not going to work. It doesn't have. You don't have to check each one. You plug it in the first, it doesn't work. It does not work. Negative 12 plus 6, positive or negative? Can I take the log of a negative? So negative 12, cross it out. Negative 3. Negative 3 plus 6. Can I take the log of a positive? Then I have to check the next one. Negative 3 plus 9, is that still positive? So is it going to work for both of them? Well, okay, I said that wrong. Is the negative 3 going to work for both of them?
Yes.
Okay, so which one do we cross out? The negative 12, and my only solution is negative 3. So don't be so quick to write your answers. Make sure when you're dealing with logs, you take your answers, plug them into the original, and make sure you're taking log of a positive number. Make sense? Okay. Next one. Does this one also have logs in it? Can anyone look and kind of figure out, is it going to be wrap around or drop the logs on both sides? Okay, I heard both of them. Okay, she said it's going to be a division thing because of the subtraction. And when you bring it together as one, is it going to be wrap around or drop? Wrap is correct. Okay. Before we condense it together, there's one thing that has to be done. Does anybody see it? The 2. This one, I can't divide it like we said on the other one because I don't want to divide this by 2 and have a 1/2. So I'm going to bring it up to the exponent. Log base 3 of x squared minus log base 3 of x plus 6 equals 1. Now, here's a question for you guys. When I condense this, is it like this, log of a fraction, or a fraction with 2 logs? Log of a fraction. Do you guys agree? Remember that you don't write a fraction with 2 logs only when you're solving and you're dividing logs over to the other side. Okay, so what do we have? Log base 3 of x squared over what? Equals, okay, so now is it, we asked earlier, wrap around or drop the log on each side? And why is it not drop the log on each side?
Because there's no log on it.
There's no log on the other side, she's right. So 3 raised to what power? 3 raised to the first equals what? Good job. 3 raised to the first equals x squared over x plus 6. What can I multiply both sides by to start to solve? X plus 6. Do you see that? Oh, yeah, you don't want to do the reciprocal because you don't want to end up with x at the bottom again. So x plus 6 is gone, and what are you going to do with that 3? Distribute. And 3 to the first is just 3. Go ahead, 3x plus 18. Okay, is this like the other one where we're going to get equal to 0 to factor and solve? Should we move everything to the right or to the left? To the right, because we want to leave the x squared positive. Go ahead and do that now. Move everything over, factor and solve. Don't forget to check your answers.
Don't you square it?
Did it factor once you got everything to one side? Yes, so what do you have? 0 equals x squared minus 3x minus 18? Okay, and then you factor double bubble. What is it? X, x, you said plus? Plus 3, okay. So x equals what?
6.
Okay, if I have to check. Now, is there a chance I might get these both right? Sure. But on the extraneous solution part, and there will be some on the test, if you put them both and one doesn't work, will you get it marked wrong? Yes. Okay, now, let's check them both. Which one shall we check first?
-3.
Okay, check the -3. Does the -3 work? Yes? No? Who's saying yes? Okay, why? Tell me why it worked. I plug the -3 in right there.
Because it's to the second power.
Okay, does anyone else see that? Out of you kids in my morning class, when I said the -3 does not work, they were like, well, why not? Why not? When you plug it in right here, -3 squared is +9. What did I say earlier? Where do you plug it in? The original, before you did any moving, any adding, subtracting, dividing, anything. So right here, if you plug it in, you get 2 times log base 3 of -3. Can you take the log of a negative?
No.
Is the -3 going to work?
No.
No. Cross out the -3. Try 6. Log base 3 of 6. Is that okay? Over on the other one, 6 plus 6 is 12. Is that okay? Yes.
Are there any times when a positive answer will not?
Not for us, but it's possible.
Okay, so like Do you really only need to check the negative answers you get then?
Okay. Are we ready? All right, let's continue. All right, number 7. And guys, I will post a blank one of these online. I would suggest you print it, try it on your own, and then compare it with what we do together, see if you're doing the steps correctly. All right, first one. Does anybody recognize anything at what type of problem this is?
Substitution.
Good job. Okay, next thing, can you see that we're not ready for substitution just yet? Because this is 3 to the x and this is 3 to the 2x. Now, I did something like this with you guys on Wednesday last week on the quiz. I showed you how to rewrite it. What do we do? 3 to the? Okay, do you guys remember that? Why do I do this? If I change it to 3 to the x squared, can I use substitution for the 3 to the x piece? And 3 to the x squared, is it equivalent to 3 to the 2x? Why? Because you do what with these powers? Multiply. Okay, so 3 to the x squared minus 30 times 3 to the x plus 81 equals 0. And now we let 3 to the x equal u, or a, or p, or whatever letter you're choosing, w. U squared. I had a lot of kids when you were taking the quiz write it like this, and they were just getting stuck. Don't put the dot u. Is 30 dot u the same as 30 times u? And is that the same as 30u? Yeah, so don't put the little dots there anymore, the little multiplication symbols. All right, what do you recognize this as? What type of problem? Factor is correct. Go ahead and factor. And it's not 9 and 9. 27 and 3. Did anybody else get that? Does that work? Okay, what are my two values for u? Positive 27 and positive. Okay, you're taking the test, you get this far, you put this in the answer column, and even though your work is beautiful, why would I still mark it wrong? Right, I'm not done, right? 3 to the x, I have to plug back in for the u's. Okay, so 3 to the x equals 27. 3 to the x equals 3. Now, if you wanted to, could you do log of both sides for both of these problems? If you wanted to. In both of these problems, can you get them both to have the same base? Can you get 27 to a base of 3? Is 3 already a base of 3? Okay, so if you wanted to, could you use the same base method? If you wanted to, could you take the log of both sides? Yes? If that 27 was a 25, could you use the same base method? What would you have to do then? Log of both sides. Okay, make sense? Is he empty? If he's empty, there's some on top of my file box back there. Okay. So, do you guys want me to show same base method or log of both sides? Same base, and I'll show log if needed. Okay, so 3 to the x equals 3 to what power? And then 3 to the x equals 3 to the 1. What two values does x equal? X equals 3 and 1. And you don't have to plug those back in. There are no logs. Do you guys want to see the log of both sides method? No? Anyone? No? Okay. Are we good? Next one. First off, is there a log in this problem? So it's not drop the log on both sides, nor is it wraparound. So taking a look, where's my variable, base or exponent? Exponent. I have choices. It's just like the last one at the end. What are my two choices? Take the what of both sides, which is going to be a bit harder. Or in this case, what can we do just like the last one? Get them to have the same what? Base. What do you think the base is going to be? What's 4? Can I get 1/2 to a base of 4? No, so base of 2? 4 is the same as 2 to what power? And all of that's being raised to x squared minus 2x plus 3. Who can tell me the word I'm looking for and what you're going to do on the next step here? Distribute. Good job. Because a power to a power, you multiply, so you distribute that exponent. 2 raised to the 2x squared minus 4x plus 6. All right, 1/2. What does 1/2 become? 2 to what power? Is 2 to the negative 1 equivalent to 1/2? Bless you.
Thank you.
Is that a yes or a no?
Yes.
Okay, raised to the x minus 8. Are we going to distribute again here?
Yeah.
Negative x, or negative 1 times x times negative 8. So 2 raised to the negative x plus 8, or 8 minus x, if you'd like it that way. Now that we have them to the same base, what can we do? Can we drop the bases? Yes. 2x squared minus 4x plus 6 equals negative x plus 8. There's been a lot of these. Is this another factor and solve? Yeah, move everything over to the left side, factor and solve. Oh, excuse me. Okay, what did you guys get? 2x. Okay, before you solved it, what did you factor to? 2x. So the 1 goes with the 2x. 2x plus 1 and then x minus 2. Do you guys agree with her? Yes, that gives you positive 1. That gives you negative 4. And negative 4 and positive 1 gives you the negative 3. So what does x equal? She said negative 1/2 and what? 2. And we don't have to check it. There is no log. Okay. We're good? Number 9 is another one that kids tend to struggle with. What I would suggest is making it into something you know how to work with. Do you agree LNs are the same as logs?
Yeah.
Okay. This problem looks a lot like this one here. There was a log on each side, there was a number there in front, and what did we do with this log to get it to the other side? We added it over, correct? Okay, now I'm going to add it over. Where are we at? There it is. Add the ln of x. And what am I going to want to do with these two eventually, since it's addition? Okay, before I multiply, I'm going to put the plus ln of x here. Can anybody tell me right here what I have to do, what I have to take care of first? Good job. Bring the 4 up. So that gives me ln of e over the 4th root of 5, all of this raised to the 4th power. Now, because that 4th power goes to the whole fraction, will I put it to the numerator as well as the denominator? Yes, please remember that as well. So, are we ready then to combine this into one fraction using multiplication? Or one log is what I meant to say, sorry. One log using multiplication. Everybody ready? Okay, what's e to the fourth power?
E to the fourth.
Over, what's the fourth root of e to the fourth power? Did I say that right? Fourth root of 5 to the fourth power is what? 5. And then times what when I condense it? X. Okay. And remember, you get partial credit. So if you get stuck, show work, guys, because if you can get this far, you will receive partial credit. Okay. Stuck here. Look at where x is. Is there a log in this problem? Yes or no? Yes? Since there's a log, it's either going to be drop the log on both sides or wrap around. Which one is it?
Wrap around.
Good, good. It's wrap around. Emily, what's the base? E. Does everyone agree with her? It's not there. Should you know it's there? So e to what power? Equals what? That whole thing. You're right. E to the fourth over 5 times x. Almost done, actually. What am I trying to solve for again? X. Any suggestions? Want to get x by itself? That's a crazy number. What is that? Times it by 5 would work. Yes? Are you guys okay with that? Times both sides by 5. All right. So 5e squared equals e to the fourth x. Almost done. What do we do? Divide by e to the fourth. Gone. Can I reduce the e's since they're the same? When I reduce e squared with e4, I subtract the exponents. Are there more e's at the top or the bottom? So it's going to be 5 over what? E squared. And that there is your final answer. Unless you want to plug it in as a decimal, which you can. If you like decimals better, plug it in. 5 divided by e squared.
How will it be on the test?
It's open response.
Oh.
So, and I have, when I grade, I have my answer key, I have both sets of types of answers. Did anybody plug it in? 677.
Yeah, 7.
Is that what you were going to say? Did you plug it in as well?
No, I was gonna ask a question.
Mm-hmm. I'm
So e
listening.
to the first equals 1?
No.
Wait, I'm confused.
Okay, which part are you on? Oh, right here? Like how to plug this in?
No, up top. When you, like right there.
From here to here?
Yeah.
Okay. Think of it like this. X squared over x to the fourth is x squared is x times x, right? Over x times x times x times x, leaving behind 1 over x squared.
But you don't keep the e?
We did, it's right here.
Oh. Oh, never mind.
Okay, you've got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Questions on that one? Yes.
If you plugged in e squared over e to the fourth, like over 5, would that be okay?
If you plug in your calculator, you can do e squared over e to the fourth times 5. You don't want to put over 5. Or you do 5 times e squared divided by e to the fourth. You could plug that in. So you would do it like this. 5 second e, and what was it? 2. Close parentheses. Divide by second ln e to what power? Fourth. And there it is there. Same decimal. Got it? Okay. Next one. Solve for m in terms of k, where 8k equals 7 minus log base 4 of m. Are we all ready? Okay. They want us to solve for m. Do you agree that m is attached to a log? Which means eventually wrap around or drop the log. I'm trying to get this log by itself, so what can I do with this 7? Subtract it over And 8k and 7 are not like terms. So 8k minus 7 equals negative log base 4 of m. Any suggestions on what to, first off, can you see ahead, is it going to be drop the log of both sides or wrap around? Okay, what do I have to do first before I wrap around? What is that? Divide by negative 1. And you can write that as negative 8k plus 7. I'm going to write it as 7 minus 8k. You do not have to. Now, what did you guys say earlier? Was it going to be wrap around or drop? Wrap around. It's wrap around backwards, but it works the same. What's the base?
4.
Raised to what power?
7
Equals what? M. And did you get m by itself?
Yeah.
And is it in terms of k? Meaning k is in our answer. It is. That's your beautiful answer. Okay, yep. Yeah, it is. It really is if you can remember all your steps, guys. So I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to finish recording tomorrow. So online when I post them, there'll be a part 1 and a part 2.